Hey guys, welcome to Cafe.io. CrewAI is one of the leading multi-agent platform. In the previous video, I've talked a lot about its capabilities, what it does, scan through the website, and basically described for a beginner what are the use cases it can help you enable. This video is more deep dive and kind of a hands-on live coding. I've not done a video like this. The attempt is to try and see how quickly you can come up with an AI agent. So bear with me for that. And yeah, let's dive in. So what we are going to do is follow through one of their tutorials and we'll use one of their samples. So this is their GitHub page, and what you have is a very simple getting started guide and installation process and all of that. So we'll just follow that. You need Python 3.10, more than 3.10 or less than 3.13 installed. I usually default to 3.10 for now or 3.12 once in a while. So I already had that in a conda environment. So you need, I think it will be a good idea to start with a clean conda environment or a virtual environment, whatever you prefer. And then just copy this command, which is pip install CrewAI tools. Tools are almost always necessary because they include additional capabilities for agents to work with. What are tools? Let's probably take a look at it, and let's just look at AI agents. What AI agents are? And yeah, AI agents with tools. Perfect. So any of these images, again, these are all publicly available image. Yeah, this seems like a good one. So you have a simple flowchart where there is a user request coming. I'm talking about the image on this one. So maybe I'll just open it kind of bigger. Then it goes to an agent. Agent has a bunch of capabilities. The first capability is planning, which is a module. So think of it as, let's say, I want to get weather of a place. I want to build a landing page. It can be much more complex, but I'm just simplifying it. So in order to do that, the agent needs to plan for it. And what does planning refer here? For instance, weather. So for weather, the agent needs to know the location. So maybe it needs to ask the user back what is the location if it has not been included in the user request. Then it needs to hit an external API. So the ability to call an API is also a part of the step. So these are the different steps. Memory is memory, you store things there, and tools are essentially those capabilities. So calling external API is a tool, extracting information from PDF could be a tool, searching the web could be a tool, maybe defining or creating SQL statements can be a tool. Tools can be a variety. All right. This is a good primer on what these tools are. So basically what I've done is just copied pip install crew.ai. So the setup is going to be half and half. This is my VS Code, sorry, not VS Code. I use PyCharm, completely empty. There's nothing, no file, no folder created there. So just creating it, everything from scratch. And a terminal window, which all I did is just did the pip install just because I wasn't sure how much time it's gonna take. It took about a minute. So it's basically pip install CrewAI, and it has installed a decently large number of libraries, from fast API to some security APIs to some cryptographic standard stuff. It has also installed some underlying capabilities around chaining, like embed chain. I think I also saw some ChromaDB. A ChromaDB is also there. So a lot of different packages has been deployed. I don't know why it has installed Kubernetes. Again, no idea for that. So a lot of package download and installation has been done for this. So that's basically what you get after installation. So the first thing you do is set up your CrewAI with a YAML configuration. So the file structure that they have given is a new empty template. So you get a git ignore, you get a project, readme, environment, and then the source, which has crew.py, the tools and config, very, very standard. So what you can do is, in order to customize your project, so I'll actually kind of take a different example, but I'll walk through what they are saying. So you need to modify a bunch of different files, and it's very, very specific. You need to modify the agents.yaml to kind of have the definitions of agents. Agents sit in there. Tasks will be definition of tasks, and you would be to add your own logic, tools, etc. So different sort of files to manage it, and the rest are very standard. Main would be to handle your input, custom inputs, and environment is just an environment. So you can have create something like CrewAI, create Crew latest AI development, and something is here. So I don't know what this is. This is a task for a sample Crew. Maybe I'll just copy paste this and run this and see if this works. If this works, it's great, and then we can conclude it, but we'll copy it and put it here. So what it should be doing right now is it selects, or it basically, I'll increase the font a little bit. It selects or asks the provider. So what sort of LLM provider you want to use. In the previous video, I've talked about that CrewAI supports a lot of different integrations, and few of them are listed, like for example 5 of them are listed. The first five, the first four actually are external providers, and the last fifth is Olama, which is running an LLM locally. I don't recommend using it unless you have a good beefed up machine or you're just doing for development. I'm gonna do one, which is I will be using OpenAI for this exercise. And then the model you want to use for this, it has the ability to use all of the good OpenAI models. It's 4, 4.0, 4.0 mini, O1 mini, O1 preview. I'm gonna stick to a smaller model for this demo, so I'll put 3, which is GPT 4.0 mini. 4.0 is already a small model, and 4.0 mini could, I'm assuming, would be further small. Again, this is a very simple use case. It needs my OpenAI key, so I am going to go to OpenAI API key, go to OpenAI API. Sorry, why explode API? Go to the platform, go to APIs, and I will create a brand new API right now. I'm not going to use an external existing API just to do everything. So now OpenAI also has switched to some sort of a, I would say, project based API keys. Previously they used to have something. So this is a test, or rather CrewAI, and you can actually configure this to access different models. Like you can restrict it to different sort of models, give different capabilities. You can make it read only, but I'm just going to do all and basically create the secret. So I will copy it and paste it here and then run work this. So what it has done is it has created API key is now saved to an environment file, which is great. It has already selected the model and it has created all the standard, where did it go? Sorry. This is basically what it has created. So it has created the project structure. Now, if you go here, you should see the latest AI development, and basically this is what we are going to be working on. There's different sources, there's Crew, etc., etc. Let's just see what is the code contained in here. I'm just going to maximize this and open crew.py. So there's different, just increase. So uncomment the following line to use an example of a custom tool. I'm not going to add any custom tool right now because I'll just let it run in a default mode. So there are different definitions of agent. So at the rate agent annotation takes care of defining your agent. So you have different agents configured here. So researcher is an agent, reporting analyst is an agent, task, research task is a task, reporting task is a task, and crew basically is, there are the agents that has been created by the agent decorator, and tasks are task, and this is a sequential step. So what does sequential here probably refer to? It means that these will be run one after the another. So this is essentially the code that they have. Now assuming this works, I want to actually go back and see more definitions. So here I have the prompts. So the researcher is defined. So researcher has a role, which is a senior data researcher. The goal is, uncover cutting edge development in certain topics. And then there's a backstory created. Interesting, I've now not seen backstories being created before. And then tasks are, well, the tasks that we need to conduct, or basically the tasks that these agents needs to perform. So the research task has a description like conduct a research through a topic, make sure you find any interesting and relevant information. It has a constraint, which is the expected filter year is 2024. Output is well defined and agent name is researcher. And this is how you define an agent. So very, very straightforward. It's kind of very lucid. What other stuff we have? We have looked at agents, we have looked at this. The main is basically just train AI topics, bunch of standard functions. Crew we have already looked in, it would be empty, and in environment you'll have OpenAI key stored. So I think that's pretty much it that they have. They've generated a README and all of that. This is the standard stuff, how to modify and run. In order to just run this, let's just go and try to run this and see if this runs directly and how does it work. So you run the same command CrewAI and you do run. and yeah, it gives me a bunch of errors, and the error is pretty straightforward. I think I should be inside this. Sorry, cd latest AI development. Yeah, this is where I need to be. So yeah, that was a simple error. Crew.ai run, and now it's running the crew. So it's kind of creating a virtual environment now, and this is interesting. This is actually very interesting. So what it is doing is it did a build step. It completely created a brand new virtual environment for running all of this, which is interesting, and it took a while. I don't know what's happening right now. So you should see the output in the console, and the report.md file should be created in the root. Perfect. So task is this: conduct a thorough research on AI LLM, make sure you find any interesting. Can I task something? Let's say US election is running. I don't know if this is asking for an input. I don't think this is asking for an input at all at this stage. But let's go to the report.md file. You should see an output in the console. Okay, ignore the topic. So it just completely ignore. Okay, the task was my bad. I think the task was to conduct a thorough research about AI LLMs, and it basically gave me an answer. And now the task is to, yeah, pretty good. I don't think this US election was needed, but I can change it. So what needs to happen is, I think I've understood how this is working. So report.md is created, and this is giving me all the outcomes, basically output from the agent that has been run. But it looks like in the task was through about a topic. I don't know how it picked this topic though. I'm not sure where this is still a parameter. Where did it pick the topic? Is it? I'm just curious, where did it got this topic? AI LLM senior data researcher task. How did it get this task specifically? Is it there in the main? Yeah, okay. Topic is captured here and here. So maybe I can capture something like US election and see what happens. So I will run this again and let's see if it's going to change something or not. No, it is not. But what needs to happen is it needs to be updated. So it's basically rerunning it, kind of sitting in a virtual environment. I believe all the things have been frozen. Maybe this is sequential. In terms of advanced capabilities, we really need to give it a way to interact with the people, and I'm pretty sure it's possible. Let me see if I can do CrewAI update. The update should, what does it perform? Oh, no poetry lock to migration complete. Okay, let's see. If it still does the same thing, then it still has the same topic. Not sure if other parameters. Okay, again. Sorry, my mistake. I should do. Just trying to see what places you need to make these modifications to work. Just stop about it. Okay. Again, run an update. Again, run it. Did it change this time? Should find it. The topic is star AI LLMs. It's still AI LLM. Probably, I think, hierarchical process. Yeah, so this needs kind of a deeper dive into how it's changing this, how it's working through this input series, but I don't think I'm able to look at how do you uninstall this. Maybe there's a way to uninstall the agent and then do something. Okay, packaging. It's how do I install? What are the key features? I think I need to go through a little bit of documentation, but basis an example of building an agent very quickly. I think this puts a tick mark to that. And I'm not sure why this topic is not working, but the first time you're capturing it, you can always change these inputs and then that time it'll pick it. Okay, it's oh, even here it's AI LLMs. My bad. Let's run one final time. US election, US election, US election. Okay, perfect. Maybe update and run. And if it does not work this time, I'll give it up. Perfect. So now this. So I think I was looking at the wrong methods. Test is not a good idea. Train is also not a good idea. I think in the run method is what I need to capture it. I just am not sure where to do this. Okay, training is another example that you could do. This is good. There's a lot of older data example, but if you give it a bunch of interesting capabilities, now see, now is when the power of AI agents can really be seen. So the US election happened today when I was recording this, and Trump has won by this time, by the time you're seeing this video. So if I give it a tool to perform a web search, it will do that. And if I, let's say, run a method here called train, I'm just curious what it's gonna do. So it's training the crew for 5 iterations with this US election topic, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna build some sort of a knowledge base. So this could be, please provide feedback on the final results. Good. I don't know how to provide a feedback. So yeah, so training is included. Replay, I'm not sure. Oh, did it capture the good part? I'm not sure. So it's gonna run for 5 iterations, I think. Anyway, so interesting. The point is that the framework seems pretty straightforward. I promise I've not looked at bad. I don't know. I've not looked at the library before. So did not take more than I think 10-15 minutes to get started with it and get a hang of it. So just needed a little bit of initial figuring out. The code initial setup is very simple as well. As long as you are able to extend the tool's capabilities, you should be good. So by the time this thing is running, which is this, I will show more examples of the use case. So they have a great code examples. So we'll check out some vacation planner code. So this is a CrewAI framework, GPT 3.5. It can work with local, and let's go look at code. So there's tools, there's main, trip agents. All right. So what are the agents here? Please open. Yeah. So there are different agents that they have created for this kind of a use case, where there's a city selection agent, local expert, travel console, and this is good. So 3 different agents. And what are the tasks for trip planning? Maybe you'll scan the city for different sorts of tourist attractions, or just look at, I would say, I don't know what you'll look at. Identify task. So analyze and select the best video. Okay, this is a prompt actually. So then couple of more inputs can be taken. Where are you traveling from? What are the city options? What are the trip dates, etc. So yeah, this is good. And then gather task, then plan task, and then tip section. Okay, this is good. So basically very small set. In terms of tools, you have browser tools, calculator tools, and search tool. This is quite nice. All right. So sorry, that's my daughter. Bye bye. Yeah, she sometimes come in between. And in case you're wondering what this has been, this is a mic. So a lot of custom tools have been added here, which is good. And depending on the kind of example that you use, you'll be able to follow this. All right. So that's pretty much it in this video. This video is quite long, so that's pretty much it for Crew.ai setup. So it's very easy to start. You can look at these examples and see how to grow, and then sky is the limit. If you create a lot of agents, if you need help in working through this, please let me know and I'll be happy to do. I'm going to do another video on stock selection agent and stock analysis agent, basically use this example, but that's going to be part of my different channel, which is called Quant Lab. Please subscribe to both of my channels. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.